Oh, great. Why aren't you working? We'll figure this out soon enough. We will figure this out soon enough. Welcome out today. Let's make sure the volumes are fine. Volumes look good. I'm already having tech trouble because my my Stream Deck is not activating for some unknown reason. Even though everything's on, it's giving me the oh shit caution sign over here. So I do not have a Stream Deck at the moment. So I'm doing a little more manual, and manual sucks. You know, once you've done stuff, like if you had asked me, hey, TT, do you know how to do this in OBS? I'd probably be like, I don't remember. Because once you set it all up, you're not thinking about going back in. Like every time, like every like 6 months, I'm like, I should rehash, I should work on this or improve this. And then I start going into these things and I'm like, I haven't touched these things in forever. So we're just manual today. Just manual, but that is okay. We're having a good day today, right? It is Thursday. I see Jay Book in the house. What's going on, fam? A lot of people in here early. Normally, Jay likes to stop by, a couple hours in or whatever. Even Philip Tan is right on time. What do I owe this courtesy today? You guys are too kind. Too kind. Let's see here. Let's get my socials up. Why is my social stream not activated? This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. Activate source. There we go. It's set to auto activate. Did it auto activate? No, it did not. So, Matthew, first week, did a week fast when I was in high school. It was interesting how my body worked. A week is a lot. Like that's a lot. That's a lot. I don't think that I could, I don't think that I could do that. I really don't. Cause that is, I don't even think my body would want that. Jay, I get that. Every so often, like I've made it a point over the last, year or so that if I have the opportunity to like go see somebody live, somebody's in LA performing and I have an opportunity to go, I go now. I didn't used to be like that. Used to be, I don't know, I got this and I got that and my time and my busy and I just try to make it a point to get out to see people, just because I mean, unless you're completely unable to do something, in my opinion, it's like, is it hurting you that you gotta, maybe take a couple hours out of your day and go support your people? Like, I think it's important, especially in this day and age. It is so important because sometimes you kind of forget what the real world is. Like say you're on social media or maybe you are a, you're a mobile DJ like a lot of you guys are. And you spend your time just in the mobile DJ, landscape. So you don't even have any reference for what's happening nowadays or, how your friends are doing. They don't even have to be friends. They could just be somebody that like you're associated with via Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And if you have the opportunity, you should probably go support them. Like, no, and not just like go support them, but like go support them with no judgment. Like just get out there and be nice. I know that's a hard thing to come by nowadays, but being nice is important. Let's see if my light's working now. This one would not turn on earlier when I attempted to. So let's see. What is going on with my, nope. The Nano Leaf will not work. Let's try. Anyway, the accessory is not responding. Whatever. That's the joy of Wi-Fi. You think you're, Oh, I'm ahead in technology. Everything. Let one little thing go wrong. Let your Wi-Fi have a hiccup and then stop talking to everything in your house. Like there's a really, really good thing to not being tethered, but there's a really bad thing when some shit goes wrong and you're like, I can't even find the problem. What am I supposed to look in the air? It's not the same. Not the same. Anyway, let's see who's in the chat right now. I know we're early, so we got people still coming in slowly. It's like a nightclub. Nobody wants to get in here at 10 a.m., 10:30. They gotta be fashionably late. I get it. I would love if people would just be here immediately, because then I could go till like noon and be good. But usually people don't even get started for 30 minutes. And then they come on my stream and they're like, I didn't come here to listen to you talk about your dog. I'm like, well, there's not enough people yet to, have meaningful conversations. Just a little tidbit. I don't know if you guys have recognized this, but there's a method to my madness. A lot of the times, especially in the beginning of my show, I'm talking way back, not today, but in the beginning of when I was doing this show, it would take forever because I started on Twitch, and it would take forever for Twitch to get the notifications out, for people to see them, for people to leave whatever channel they were on, and because of that, literally on Twitch for like 30 minutes, I was basically alone. There was like 2 people on the stream, and I think I was one of them. It was like the Twitch bot and one other person. So a lot of time I had to just, I can't just sit here like this waiting for people to show up. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if I'm just like, hey guys, have a seat. Have a seat. You guys are early. Have a seat. Yeah, hopefully we're going to get started soon. I mean, there's 10 of you in here now, so if you could just give me a little more time. We'd like to get some more people in here before we begin, so just sit tight. Girl from Ipanema's playing in the background. Like, you see what I'm saying? So the first 30 to 45 minutes of my show was just me essentially talking to myself, which in hindsight is pretty damn impressive or insane. I don't know which one it is. It's one of the two. I'll get on to Nick Spinelli's live stream. Yeah, at some point I'll get over there. Is he doing it on YouTube or is he doing it on Twitch? I didn't see that little bit of information. I know, but it is what it is. It's cool. Shuffle couple. Hey, thanks for stopping by anyway. Yeah. I mean, look, I think people with he's done. I thought it was like a full day. Not much of a birthday. I had no idea. I honestly, I assumed that it was going to be later in the day. So that's on me. I'll text him because I got it like that. Sorry, I did the thing. Where well, you know what? It's different. It is different when you have a child. That child changes things. All those things you used to be able to do. Hey guys, a new game came out. I'm going to stay up till 6 a.m. and finish this game. Not when you got babies. When you got babies, you got to think about these things. You got responsibilities now. Way different world. You can't do your peeping Tom, which was hilarious when he came out with that. Um, uh, the Peeping Tom, I still laugh about to this day. That one was great. And essentially, what it was, he'd have his DJing, and then at a certain point, he'd hit the button, and then an overlay would come on, and then the overlay just had like a hole in it, and it would be like right where his eyes are, and he would just talk through the wall with his eyeball. That was pretty funny. I can't lie. That was funny. Anyway, I recently finished Castlevania. You know what? I was a huge Castlevania fan when I was a kid, and I cannot get into them now. I cannot. But I hear great things about them. I saw them. I'm like, it's not the same. It's like. Although I would love to have a Contra emulator, because that was one of my favorite games growing up. Contra. Another side scroller was, well, you didn't have a choice because I bought a Sega Genesis, so it came with Altered Beast. I don't know if you guys remember that. It could be before your time, but it was Altered Beast, and then you turn into like an animal, like a wolf, and it was a side scroller. It was, when I think back, it was a really dumb game. We had a lot of dumb games growing up, like a lot of dumb games. Right now, I'm playing. What am I playing right now? Destiny was in my head, but it wasn't Destiny. Oh my god, I can't think of it right now. It's the one where you're the pilot and the robot. It's like a mech robot, and you hop inside of it. What was that? What is that? What's that called? That's gonna bother me. I play it every couple of days to try to finish it. Like I'm the guy. I'm the guy that buys a game, and I'll start the game, right? And I'll be in it. Like I'm invested. That game will still take me weeks because hold on. I'll tell you exactly what it is, guys. I'm sorry. This is on me. Games. It is Titanfall. Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2, which by the way, is a badass game. It is a badass game. Like I remember the original Titanfall and I liked it, but it was all pretty much online only. And which was fun, but after a while, like I like a good campaign, and I don't really want to play online, to be honest with you. I'm not that guy because in general, I don't have the energy to deal with stupid people. And they're not stupid. They're quite smart. I'm just using the term stupid people. Because in general, I don't want to just spawn and be killed. Like that's not fun to me. It's not my thing. So I play campaigns. Love myself a good campaign. And I play on easy. I'm not going to tell a lie. I play on easy. Every game that I buy now, I go right into the settings. It's like regular. Nope. Easy. What's the lowest I can go? What's the lowest I can go where it doesn't feel like I'm walking over people, but I am, OP. I need to be OP at some point in that game because I don't want to think about strategy. I just want to play a damn game. I don't want to do strategy. Well, what you got to do is you got to go underneath this thing right here, and then you got to turn around, and then you got to shoot a arrow up to the top and wait for it to explode. And at that point, you switch to your second gun, and then I don't want to do all that. I don't want to do all that. I just want to shoot some people down. Is that too much to ask? Can I kill people easily? I'm like the poster child for like mass shootings. Can we kill people easier? Like that's me. That's me. But I just want to turn my brain off for a minute, And the campaign on Titanfall 2 is fantastic. I was talking to my son because he was the one going, "Oh, Titanfall, it's really, really good," because I had the original. So I just bought it on Steam because I'm a Steam guy. I'm a Steam guy. I have no interest in another Xbox and another PlayStation. I am a Steam guy now. I have no interest in it being the most lifelike graphics, although I like to have some lifelike graphics. But That's not the only thing. I'm doing this for relaxation and convenience. So he was like, "Oh, this is a really good game," and I said, I don't want to do it online. He goes, "Oh, it's got an amazing campaign." And I went online, and everybody said the same thing. The campaign is what sells it. But they're like, it's really easy. It's just a 6-hour campaign. I mean, you can get that done in half a day, and blah blah blah. Not me. Not me. My campaigns take weeks, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. But I'm on the final boss right now, and even on easy, this man is hard. And I'm about to rage quit. Literal rage quit. Because once it gets too hard, I don't want to do it anymore. Look, I got enough hard things in my life. You know what I mean? Like the last thing I want to do is spend money for it to be hard. Like I do that at the gym. That's about as far as I go. If I'm exercising, spending good money, I'm like, I'm going to get my money's worth. Well, the same thing with this game. I'm getting my money's worth. The people that finished the game in 6 hours are the ones that didn't get their money's worth. You just spent, $60 to $70 on a game and you play it for 6 hours and you're done? That doesn't sound good at all. Uncharted is, to this day, one of my favorite games. That's on PlayStation. At least it was. It's on. I actually have the entire a saga on my Steam Deck. I just bought it. I probably won't even play it. I just bought it though. It was on one of those Steam sales. By the way, look, I'm not trying to sell you guys on video games. I know some of you guys don't like them or think people are lazy or dumb because people play video games. I do it because I am first generation video game player. Okay. Like I've been here since ding, ding, ding. Like I've been here for it. Right. And so for me, that's what my friends, that's what we do. School would end. We'd go to somebody's house. We'd play video games for 4 or 5 hours, or we'd be up till 3 a.m. playing video games. This is before you didn't have to leave the comfort of your couch. This is before you could be super lazy and be in like your underwear playing video games with your friends online. This is when you had to get up, walk to your friend's house, knock on the door, say, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. He's upstairs." Okay. And then you walk into that horribly smelly ass bedroom. And then you just sit on a bed or on a chair or on the floor and you play video games for like 5 or 6 hours. That was the life. That was the life. Or go to the arcade. Yes, but arcades were expensive. And mine was like 3 miles away. So that was a lot. Oh my God, Madden. Madden was my game. Madden. I even liked at one time they had the NFL what was it? I think it was just like NFL 95 or something like that. It's the same. It's the team from 2K. That same team. So anyway, I miss those. Metal Gear Solid was great. So my online games, and then we'll get to talking because I know you people are going to get mad in a minute. I feel it in the back of my neck. My game, when I finally like moved up to like, Xbox and all that stuff, my favorite game was Gears of War. I played Gears of War in 2000 it probably would have been 2006, 2007. I played Gears of War for hours at a time. And this is when I was working, but at that point I just had my first child, my only son, my first child. Well, technically the second child. Anyway, that's a long story. Anyway, we had a baby. Let's just leave it at that. We had a baby and I've always been the night owl. My wife's the day person. I'm the night person. So anytime the baby would wake up, I would take him, I'd walk him around the house, I'd give him a bottle, etc. Right? Put him back to sleep. So But my wife, she'd never been a night owl. So instead of going to bed, I could go to bed at 11 or 12, but then the reality kicks in. This baby's going to be up in about an hour, 1:30, 2 o'clock. So my logic is, why even go to bed? Let's just stay up for a little while until he wakes up. So I'd play Gears of War over and over. And the coolest thing about it, which is why I don't like online games anymore. Okay. This is the coolest thing about it. So I started playing these games and I noticed that the same people kept coming online. Okay. It was the same guys. And I never met them, never seen a picture or whatever, but the same guys. And we developed like a really good bond. They were all dads or, married, and they're just trying to relax. Okay. And we got so tight online that they would hear the baby crying and go, "Oh, hold on. CT's got to go get the baby." And I'd be like, "Hey guys, I need to just grab him." They're like, "No problem." They pause the game. They just sit there and wait for me. I bring the baby back. I finally get him down. Then we pop up. We start playing the game again. I had one when we were playing online because, the Gears of War, I would hide like in a corner and then somebody would just stand in front of me and protect me until I got back. Like that was friendship. I don't remember their names. I don't remember anything about like their usernames or anything. I do remember that one guy was Hispanic. One guy was clearly a white dude from like the Midwest. I think I had one that was like in the Bay Area. Anyway, that's a strange core memory to have. All right, let's see some questions that I know came through. Let's ask. Let's see here. Jose Reyes says, "Have you been scratch practicing?" No, I have not been scratch practicing. To be honest with you, my focus as of, I don't know, I want to say like 6 months ago, and I still scratch. I mean, I still practice to a degree. I mean, obviously, if I start working on mixes, I'm just going to naturally lead to scratching. But my focus has been just programming, literal programming, just making sure that like the music that I'm going to play is right. Because I've been DJing forever, so I'm not worried about making a poor transition. I know my music, so I'm never worried about that. It's more along the lines of just, making sure that like, I'm playing the right music. That's the key. And I'm always playing the right music, but like finding even better alternatives to the music I've already been playing. Like that's key for me. That's it. Do you still love the Maui? Do you still use your Maui 28G3s? If so, are you still loving them? They're the best speakers in that price point and that size to this day, in my opinion. So yes, I absolutely love them. If you ever look at any of my speaker reviews, you will see, turn off the filter. Sweep. Okay. If you look at any of my speaker reviews, I always use the Maui 28G3s, always as a reference, like every time. I use them on the KC12s. I use them on the Evol 50s. That's my go-to. That is my go-to. I have the, you guys know, like I have the EV 70s and 90s. And on a larger party, yes, I will take the EV 70s. On an even larger party, I'll take the 90s. But my God, do I love taking them 28G3s out. And every time I turn them on, every time I play them, I stop for a minute and go, damn, these are really good speakers. Like over and over again. I'm going to ask you, Jay Davis, what size parties do you think I use them on? You answer that question for me, and then I'll answer. The the setup you use on IG, was that to make edits in Serato? So yes, Serato Studio, which is honestly probably one of the best softwares for DJs specifically. Like better than Ableton, better than Logic, just for doing what it is that we needed to do. Serato Studio, it is the best app for us because not only is it easy to make really quick edits, ins and outs, loops, dropping out to acapella, stemming everything out. Not only is it super easy for that, but the smart technology in it is the things that like I can't get away from. What do I mean by that? I mean that when I pull in a song into Serato Studio, let's say I'm trying to make an edit, okay? Or maybe I'm trying to do a new blend, a new remix. I drop a song into it. It's going to analyze the song and then lock the key of the project to that song. So every sample, everything, every note I play is going to be in key. If I pull in another sample, let's say I pull in a track and it was a C major, right? So C major is my key. Then I pull in a song that's B minor. It's going to adjust that song to C major without me having to think about it. And that's the difference between like that program. That's the difference between that program. That's the difference between Logic. That's the difference between Ableton. It's that part. It's the difference between, Akai MPC. They all want you to know the key you're in and how to change the song you're bringing in to match the key. That's a godsend for time-wise. And yes, in theory, you should know musical theory. You should be able to read. I know all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about speed and efficiency. And nothing is as efficient in my book, just pulling stuff together really quick, than Serato Studio. Simple as that. Okay, that was a strange sales pitch, but I'm a big fan, and it's weird because I have all the programs. Like literally, I have Ableton Suite, I have full Logic Suite, I have MPCs, Pro Tools. That's enough. I have a lot, and I keep going back. To Serato Studio. Oh, and their Serato. Basically, if you guys ever use Serato Sample, which is their plugin, which can be used in like Logic and Ableton and all that stuff. Essentially, this is like a hyper focused or hyper expanded Serato Sample. Like Serato Sample is in everything you touch in Serato Studio. So it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Does that mean a Patreon is on the way? Do people still do Patreon? Like, I know that the big people do, but every time I try to do a Patreon, I get nothing. But, maybe. I'm still not convinced that I want to make any edits for other people and for production. I forgot to mention, you can still make great beats in Serato Studio, and it's easy. It's just easy. I don't need to go on a demo for you guys, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. You've seen it. I don't need to demo it for you. Or do I? That's the question. So Jay Davis, back to Jay Davis's question. Jay Davis said for 130 and under. Okay. That's a fair number. I personally, on my 28s, won't go higher than typically about 1 to 110. And it also depends on the venue that I'm in. I've gone up to 130 with them, and they've been solid, especially if you're in a smaller room. But in general, if I'm at 130 or higher, I'm bringing the 70s. So, and Jose, there's nothing wrong with Machine. Nothing wrong. Well, except for maybe the fact that isn't it like insolvent? I thought they just filed bankruptcy. I could be wrong. Okay. Let's see here. I typed in ask, and those were the only ones that came on. So, I wasn't trying to call you out by name, but yeah. When I graduated from Super Mario Brothers 3, my games were all the GTAs. You know, I owned all the GTAs, and I never finished them. My favorite one was, and don't get me wrong, I don't think I played GTA 5 like at all. I know my son does, but was it Vice City? Was that the one with all the great 80s music? I think that was Vice City. But yeah, I enjoy them to a point. So I have a thing, guys. Okay, my issue with any games. If you were to ever ask me, what games do I play, or what games do I like, and what games do I not like? The games that I don't like, I'm not really a fan of open world because I'm a solution based human being. Like I need things to happen. I need to keep seeing progress. In these open worlds, it feels like literal wastes of time. Um, it's not Far Cry. There's another game. The guy, he has a parachute and he can like jump off and float. I forget what it's called. It came out around the Far Cry games. Anyway, my son and I both played this game. Okay. I finished the game in a few weeks. It was a good game. I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, in a few weeks, I finished the game. And he's watching me and he's like, oh, you're already there? And I'm like, already finished, whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm only here. And I said, I don't understand. Look at all the weapons. Look at all the stuff you have. You have like, he doesn't play that way. He literally will just get his man and then get on a jet plane or get in a car, or whatever. And he'll just drive for miles, or he'll go find, like, I don't do side quests. I mean, that's why I don't cheat. I don't have the energy for a side quest. And I need to just know my role. And it's not me. I don't do open world, and that's why I don't do open world. If I walk somewhere and they're like, oh, ask some people around the city what you need, and you'll find out. Just Cause. Thank you, Philip. Just Cause. Great game, by the way. But literally, I finished the game. I went through. And he's like, oh, did you do this quest? Did you do this quest? Did that have anything to do with the actual game? Well, no, then I didn't. I cannot play open world. I don't have the patience for open world. It just feels boring to me. Shamalama, Shamarick RL. Shoma, Rickroll. Shoma Rickroll. This may be one of my. I'm feeling a little zany today. I'm not gonna lie. This might be one of those days. Shamari. I only know one other Shamari. Just one other one. He used to work for me. Shamari says, in this current international climate, is it sometimes challenging to be locked in tune to the party entertainment scene? To be honest, sometimes this all gets the best of me and my motivation and anxiety. That's a very, very good question. And to be honest with you, yes. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm so busy, I don't I think I would I mean I've already shut down a lot of like outside noise and there's only so much outside noise you can shut down. Um because it's everywhere. It's on your phone, it's in your Instagram, it's in your TikTok, it's everywhere. It's in YouTube. Like it's everywhere you go. You open up your phone and you're going to see something. I mean, look, this is a Windows computer and I opened up Windows to start OBS and like the first thing on the tabs is like Trump this and Iraq this and Iran this like it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So I I'm becoming that guy when people are like, "Oh, did you see what happened on the blah blah blah?" I'm like, "I have no idea." Did you know that this is going on? I had no idea. It was on the news. Yeah. I don't watch that. I don't watch that news. Sorry. So when things do get tough, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, we do a lot of bar and bat mitzvahs. So please understand that like when it becomes like a serious situation, which has happened several times in the past couple of years. I mean, when there's like literal police officers like at the door of the temple, just like ushering people in and staying there the whole night because they're afraid there's going to be some, violence. Like it's something that like you do and you go to and you realize and you don't even think about it while it's happening. You don't think about it while it's happening. Like I could be blown up today. Not even if it's real or not, but just like something bad could happen today, So I try to stay out of it, although it's impossible. And, look, if you guys know me, I don't sugarcoat. I will raise my voice. I will say something if I feel like somebody's being, taken advantage of, abused, or it's just not fair, across the board. I am that guy. And I don't apologize for it. And I know a lot of people who don't want that guy, So, so to answer your question, there's been several times when I've literally been, like losing my mind, like falling apart. And have you seen that Instagram video about the business owner that's like having a nervous breakdown? And they're like crying on the stairs, and it's like, it's that. I think it's that Ready song. It's like a slow song, whatever. Anyway, and they're crying, they're bawling out of their heads, and the phone rings, and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" Then they hang up the phone, and they go back to crying. Like that's how I feel on several days. There's been a couple of times when people are like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I've just been like, "It's not going well today." Like it's not going well. And then they're like, "Yeah, you're right." Like sometimes you can hide it, and sometimes you can't. I think as far as like, we all do the job and we've all, gone to events where you just got into a fight with your girl or your mother or got into a car accident or anything, right? And you're there and you're pissed off and maybe the caterer just came up to you with a little attitude or party planner gave you some side eye and you're just like, I'm not having it today. And then you start playing the music and you're playing songs and you're like, I'm going to play this song right now. That song is for you. You play that song for you. Makes you a little happier. Play another song. Makes you a little happier. Next thing you know, you're happy. You have forgotten your troubles. And you're back and you look out in the crowd and somebody's screaming to a song that you played or came up to you and was like, I love this song. Thank you for playing it. And you realize why you do it. They didn't bring this anger to you. You brought that baggage into the event. You brought that baggage to the phone, and it's our jobs to work our way out of it. Because they didn't do anything. So that's my opinion. Ruckus in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Jose says, do you think the new cheap MacBook with the phone processor will be good enough to DJ? Okay. Real talk. I think if you're using DJ, the application by Algorithm DJ, you're probably going to be in heaven. Okay. Because you can run DJ off your cell phone right now. Do I believe that, a Serato can use it? Yeah, I do. But are you going to have mad problems with your buffer? And are you probably going to have to pre-stem your files? Yeah, I do. So I think it's going to work just fine for a lot of people. And I'm going to be honest with you. If it had come out and they used an M1 chip, I might have bought one just because I have a deep love, deep love for the second gen. Was it? I don't know if they called it the MacBook Air, but it could have been the MacBook Air. It could have just been the MacBook, but it was that 12-inch MacBook. You remember, because the first original, the MacBook Air, really wasn't a good computer. I owned one, but it really wasn't a good computer. The chassis was terrible. It overheated like crazy. It throttled like crazy. But I had one just because I'm a tech dude. And I ended up, I think I gave it to my daughter and she like broke it. Anyway, that 12-inch MacBook to me was my favorite computer out of any computer I've ever owned. It was just like the sweet spot in size, but it was missing ports. You had to use one of your ports for power. So it really wasn't convenient. Jason Jani in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. It really wasn't convenient, but oh my God. No, I had the one with the single USB-C. That was the first gen. That was the first one. The second gen they came out with, they made it more, computer-like, but then it had two USBs, one on each side, one for power, one for everything else. But oh my God, it fit in every bag I had. It was just like, you just open it up. I mean, that's why, the iPad works for me, but if that new MacBook had an M1, not even an M1, Pro, just an M1 chip, I would have bought one just because. Just because. And if you're using DJ, you're not going to have a problem with that computer. I mean, it's got an A18 processor, which is a little weird to me that they would come out with an A18 or A16. Which one is it? It's one of the A's. Anyway, it's not the latest generation A. I'll just leave it at that. So I thought that was weird. Like, you have an opportunity to at least have the most cutting edge. I don't know why they didn't do it. But I think it's going to work just fine. And I think for the average person. So yes, Aaron, you are correct that it is faster technically than an M1, but the throughput is different on the phone chip versus the M1. Nate Acosta in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Nate was in California. Didn't even text me. I would have met up. That's all I'm saying. I would have met up. But whatever, dog. I see how you are. Too busy giving life hacks and, preaching to the choir while in Disneyland on rides, thinking you're flexing. I see you. It's cool. Trying to have your own lane. Yeah. So the form factor, it's all, and don't get me wrong, guys. There is a purpose for every computer out there. Okay. Like, I have the MacBook 16. You guys know that the M4 Max 16, 4 terabyte, 64 gigs of RAM. Like, it's not messing around. Like, it's the best computer that I've owned. And I've said this before. It's the best computer that I've ever owned from any company, but specifically Apple. And I hate using it. The best computer I've ever owned, and I hate using it. Why, you ask? Because the damn thing is so big. The first M series computer I had was the 14. Before that, I was using like the 15-inch MacBook Pros, right? And once I went to the 14, it's the perfect size. Like in general, even so, like I know I just told you about the 12 and everything, but the 14 is the perfect size for pretty much everything. It's perfect for DJing. It fits in a small form factor. I can put it anywhere. I don't have to think about it, especially if you got two DJs, that you're going back and forth with, and you have these two 16s up here. You can't even see the dance floor because they're literally just like covering up the whole booth. It was bothering me. Now, there are perks to having the 16, okay? One of the perks is that battery lasts forever. I mean, like running full production stuff. And Serato is a resource hog, and I can still get 6, 7, 8 hours out of that thing. Cannot do that with the 14. The 14, I get a maximum of 4.5 hours without plugging in. Like, it's 100%. I open up the thing, I plug it in, I start DJing. I can get through a party. But it's tight. I can get through it, but it's tight. If I lower the brightness to say like half, and the funny thing is, and this is why I was talking about Serato versus DJ and the processing power. If I use DJ on that 14, I get 4.5 to 5 hours. If I use Serato, I get about 4 hours. And that's with me having to turn the brightness way down. So that's why I'm talking about it depends on the software you use. It literally does. My M114, I mean, like I said, I have the M4 Max, Powerhouse, Overkill, and I still use the M1. I'm waiting for one computer. Coyote's just giggling all over. I'm waiting for one computer. And Jeff won. The simple answer is absolutely. The second answer is you don't even need the Glide XL. It'll fit in a regular one. It'll fit in a regular Jetpack Glide. The Glide XL fits, and I know because I put it in there like an Opus Quad. Opus Quad. RX, the AZ, it fits all those humongous ones. Okay. Back to my dreams. Cause this is my show. I just want to talk about me. Right. But my perfect computer would be a 14-inch MacBook Pro. Like I don't know, M5. I don't really care. M something. But the battery needs to last on heavy resource pull 6 hours. Just give me 6 hours. Also, get rid of the notch and just give me Face ID in the camera up top. And lastly, and the most important thing, give me the Apple cellular modem inside of it and allow me to set up a data plan with my laptop, with my 14-inch laptop. You give me that, in all honesty, I'd probably use my iPad Pro 75 to 80% less. Give me that. My 16-inch MacBook Pro fits in the Jetpack Glide. Did I say that it didn't? I think we were talking about the System 1, Joey. I think any computer you have can fit in the Jetpack Glide. My understanding that they're using the A18 chips that had one defective processor core, so they couldn't go into Pro phones. Oh, that's hilarious. And that's smart. That's smart. everybody keeps talking about the fact that Apple just released these new products, and now they have the Neo. They also just updated like their Airs and all their MacBooks, and they put the M5s in there. And people are talking about, well, where's the inflation gate? All the RAM, all the memory. They got to get it from somewhere, and it's so expensive now. People forget, Apple is that company, like NVIDIA is that company. When Apple orders something, they're ordering ridiculous amounts. So their cost, we won't see a true cost increase, I think, for another 2 to 3 years, if we even do. I think they'll try to absorb it. I really do. I know that the MacBook Air went up $100, but they always wanted the MacBook Air to be $1,100. They always wanted it to start there. So this Neo kind of opens the door for that price increase because of the separation. So anyway, Jeff 1, didn't I just answer this question, my brother? Is your stuff just auto texting, or do you need help? Did you just have a stroke? You have to just like repeat the same question. I'm supposed to call the police for you? Call the emergency? I can do it. Hopefully your phone number spells out, does the System 1 fit the Glide XL? I'm kidding. See? Quirky today. I'm feeling a little quirky today. So if I say anything to anybody, don't be offended. I mean, hopefully in general, you don't be offended, period. Because if you know me, like if you come to the show, the one thing I will do is I will tell you facts. Sometimes I'll tell you hard facts. But what I don't ever try to do is, belittle you, be an asshole about it. Like I might just be like, no, that's dumb. I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm saying that the thought process or the activity is dumb. But I hope nobody ever takes anything I say, personally, because I never wanted to be about your character, unless you're being an asshole. And then, hey, all bets are off. All bets are off. You don't want to see that side of Cleveland. Also, the RAM for Apple is integrated into the CPU, so it's not the same. You are absolutely correct. You can't drop it in. You're right about that. But the modules themselves have to come from somewhere. You know what I mean? So, fortunately, they have power. They have pull. So we'll see. We'll see. And that's why they've been buying up chip makers and stuff, so they don't have to deal with this kind of drama. I mean, the easiest way to control your destiny is to have everything go through you. So, all good. Music by Rami says, I switched over to J Pro. He's even got the newness. Like I have to use DJ Pro, but he got J Pro. Just saying, just keep that in mind. Like there are levels to this and I'm not there yet. Switched over to J Pro after being with Serato since Scratch Live days. Can't believe I haven't done that sooner, night and day. Yeah. So it's interesting because, obviously, over the last couple of weeks, and I know somebody asked me how long did I have the System 1 before it came out. I don't know. It was probably 6 weeks to 2 months, somewhere around there. I can't remember exactly. All I remember is that Mojax had it well before I did. That's all I remember. Anyway, so I typically use DJ. However, one of the things, I got to put that in my notes here, guys. I'm literally writing my script for the System 1 review. One of the things that it didn't do when I was trying to get my music into Engine Desktop. There's no DJ import an Engine desktop. So I was forced to have to basically reconcile my, what was I saying? Reconcile my DJ with Serato. That way I'm if I do need to use Serato, because at a certain point I knew that System 1 was coming out with the Serato beta in there. So I had to use it. So I needed it to be update because I was going to use it, sparingly on an event. And so I've been going back and forth with it. And every time I go to Serato, I'm like, oh yeah, this is my software. This is what I started with when I started DJing with software. And Mixmaster, I know, but the issue wasn't that it couldn't be done. The issue was, why wouldn't they have DJ in there as an option? Again, this goes into actually my review part of it, which we're going to talk about. I will talk about that when I shoot my video. Hopefully after my calls today. Because there are some compatibility issues that I think, there's some compatibility issues that for me, I think for whatever reason holds in music back. And I know they've been making so many strides to be that kind of DJ company for everybody, listen to people, listen to their complaints and, their wants, and actually give that to them. I think that's where they're headed. They're in a good place, except for the fact that some things are just unnecessarily inconvenient, maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe we won't. Anyway, back to what I was saying before. So with Serato, it's where I started as far as, not using vinyl. Okay. It's where I started. So there's always a special place in my heart for Serato, and, Crate Search is fantastic and all these things are fantastic. Okay. But DJ just seems to do the things I needed to do also. And it does it more efficiently. And if I need to use it in a pinch, I can use my iPad. I can use my phone. I mean, that's one of those things that I keep telling people when they're like, oh, you should just use Serato. You should just do that. And I'm like, well, that's great, but I still have to have a backup, which is why the System 1 is so good to me. Because even if you are a computer-based thing, and it's driving me crazy, the logic of DJs that are saying it has to be one or the other. It's insane. I wanted a backup. You guys remember, I've been talking about essentially the System 1 for years. If I go back, if I search my podcast, I guarantee you there'll be at least 8 to 10 times where I've brought up, what would be really great? A Rain 1 with Engine OS, moving platters, the center a little bigger, 2-channel, Serato driven. I have said that forever. And what did I say? I said the reason why it needs to have Serato is because it needs to be able to appeal to people that have never touched Engine. Needs to be able to appeal to them. And if you come out with this program, I don't care how good it is. You come out with hardware, you come out with software, I don't care how good it is. If it doesn't work with what you use, you're going to have less people wanting to try it. That's just facts. Why do you think the ecosystem for Apple, nobody wants to leave it? Because it is legitimately hard to get out the ecosystem. And I say that as a person that uses Google Suites for everything. My company email goes through Google servers. My calendars go through Google's servers. What else? Calendar, that, photos, and not so much anymore. But what I'm saying is like the major production things that we use go through Google. So for me, it'd be super simple. I could get an Android phone tomorrow. And then all I do is log in and all my stuff is on my phone. Like I don't have to think about anything. But it's not just about that. If it were that easy, then we'd all do it. But it's not just about that. It's the airdrop. And see, and it's kind of pissing me off. Like I understand the walled garden thing, how that ecosystem pisses people off. But in my opinion, let them do what they want to do. Like stop. Like the only thing that the UK and all these overseas legal groups, the EU, all that stuff. The only good thing that they did is make USB-C mandatory across the board. That's the only good thing that the EU has done. Everything else, you're just messing with business. They should be able to do. Why? It's their company. They should be able to do whatever the hell they want with their company. Nobody's forcing these people to buy Android phones or Apple phones. So why are you trying to dictate every single thing that they do? Mixmaster, yes, Android just recently became compatible with Apple's AirDrop because the EU forced them to. That's why. So I have a mixed emotion about that. I don't believe that government should be kind of dictating what a company decides to do. Like if people want to do it, then they do it. If somebody's complaining, oh, I wish I could leave Apple, but I can't because of the ecosystem. And the EU is like, yeah, there's something wrong with that. I'm looking at it like, well, why did you don't have to. You can go to Google. You can go somewhere else. So I have a problem with that. I have a problem with countries telling businesses what to do if they are not harming the country. But USB-C, thank you, God. Thank you, EU. Oh my God. Anyway, all right. Coyote says Maestro update released. I'm still gonna have to check that out. I'm hoping to have some time. Look, they all donated. It is what it is. Like, am I going to boycott Apple for this one? Am I going to boycott Apple for playing the game? No, because when it's all said and done, they're still, at this point in time, focused on, even if it's, smoke and mirrors, they're still focused on security. And that's why I stay. You guys know about the whole Department of War, which is a stupid name, by the way. But you guys know about the Department of War contracting with Claude, Anthropic, to use their AI for military applications. And apparently the contract basically stated that like they have rights to do anything they want, no guardrails on the AI to use it however they see fit. And Claude really like, that's a little too far. We're not going to let you do that. You're more than welcome to use it, but you can't just not have guardrails. That's unsafe for everybody, not just us, but for everybody. And they were like, either you do this or, not only do you lose your contract, but we're going to do government bullshit on you. They said, we're not going to do it. So the government canceled their contract. And who signed up immediately? Who was out there like, me? Your favorite company, ChatGPT. Just bent over and took it. So what I'm saying is no business is like really moral. Thank you. God, what's wrong with me today? No business has good morals. It's always business. You can't really be a business and have good morals, because you're ultimately always trying to make a profit. And in order to make a profit, some things have to disappear. Some things have to be sacrificed, some things. That's just life, like I can tell you this. If I'll give you a perfect example. So if I have a potential client or a client that books us, I have one client that just spent $25,000 for stuff from us. Then I have another client that spent $2,000 with us. Every client's the same, which is true from an anatomical level, but not everybody's contributing the same. So you might have this $25,000 client. It's probably going to have better MC, better DJ, better everything. The lighting will be better. You get to the $2,000 one, they're going to have a good MC. They're going to have a good DJ, but the quality might be a little different. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're operating within your budget. Like, I don't go to Chipotle and order beef, like a steak thing, and expect it to taste like filet mignon. I don't expect that. Why? Because I didn't pay filet mignon prices. So maybe I'm just a realist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just believe that, like, you kind of get what you pay for. And like, it's like, as much as I love Kia is a great example. Okay. The car manufacturer, Kia, Hyundai's a little better because their Genesis line is actually it's really a good looking car. I'm not going to lie, but like Kia will come out with a car and the commercials, they'll show that car in the commercials and you're like, huh, like, all right. Like what Lil Jon did with Hyundai, and you'd be like, okay, yeah, that looks pretty good on TV. And then somebody buys one and you're on the road and you look to the side and that same Kia is right next to you. It doesn't look at all what it looked like on the screen. So no matter how much they try to sell it as this is what this is, when you see it in real life, you realize it's not really what it is. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. And another thing, why is every Kia, like SUV, specifically their SUVs, why do they all look like toys? Like on TV, they look big and beefy. And every time I get next to one, I'm like, what happened to the rest of you? Like, where's the rest of your body? Like, it's weird to me. Like, if you're going to make a SUV, like, anyway, that's a whole nother story. Okay. Lou says his dilemma is he loves System 1 and hates Serato. I get that. You're a virtual DJ guy, right? I think you are. It's weird to me. I would have assumed that they would all be ready at the time that it was released, but not yet. So you're still stuck with Serato. Okay. No, there's no relief in sight. The bump, unfortunately. And look, I was just talking about the morality of businesses. Okay. What incentive does a business have to lower their prices once they go up? Like, what incentive do they have? The only way that they lower their prices, okay, is if the AI bubble bursts, which it's going to, but let's say it bursts. Let's say 2 years from now, the AI bubble bursts. Everybody stops buying. All these big companies stop buying graphics cards, hard drives, SSDs. And the average everyday buyer stops buying too. Then the prices can go down. But if people are still buying these things, their prices aren't going down. Like, do you really believe, in all honesty, do any of you really believe that the grocery prices are going to go down in general? Do you really believe that? That what you pay at the grocery store right now is what you will continue to pay for the rest of your life. It's only going to go up. Nothing goes down. I mean, really, the only thing that goes down is like down and up. It's volatile. It's the gas prices, the oil industry. And that's just because it's traded like stocks. But like your standard grocery store, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. We're all screwed. He did say they would, didn't he? He said a lot of things. I would love to be able to just say whatever I wanted. People call me out on my bullshit, and I just say, well, that wasn't my intent. This is really what I meant when I said that. I would love that. I'm not getting political. I won't. But I will say this. Just putting us into war just because is dumb as hell. And then when asked about why we're in said war, every single person in your cabinet gave a different answer. That's weird. That's weird because in my mind, if I decide to kill hundreds and thousands of people, in my mind, I should probably have a good reason. Like I should just have a good reason to do something like that. That's kind of like a not coming back from this type thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Funky Fresh. There's a difference between eggs going down when they had reached astronomical levels, okay? And general prices going down. There's a difference. Eggs didn't really go down. Eggs are still $5 and $6, a carton in Cali. Now, they're not $9 like they were, but before, I used to be able to get a carton of eggs for $3.49, $3.99. Now they cost me $6. That's all I'm saying. And gas used to be, $2. And yes, some places you might be able to get it for $2 in the, podunk towns. But it's been over $3 since I can remember now. Like I remember when it hit the $3 mark, I was like, damn, this is expensive now. It's going to go up again. We're fighting with the people that have the oil. Even though we generate so much oil in America, we have limitations on how much we can do. And so the prices are going to go up again. It is what it is. And the tariffs were bullshit. It's got to refund all that money back. Okay. Enough politics for today. All right. Uno. I was gonna say Uno Nietzsche. Is it Uno Nietzsche? Or is it Uno Nice? Just curious. Okay. Finally ordered my first column array speaker, EV90. That's a great first column array speaker to have. I'll see what it do, then decide if I want another one or return it for something else. I have a feeling that if you set your expectations correctly, I have a feeling you're going to love them. The problem with people, when they see the 90s and they see an 18, that they automatically assume that they're going to sound like, a true point source 15-inch top and 18-inch sub. And they come close. And the key here is they come close. That's all I want. Column arrays are always a series of compromises. Always a series of compromises. So the compromise is they don't sound as good as a point source, but they get really close. They get really close. All right, let's see here. Yeah, Nick got frustrated. What was he saying? He said something. Oh, yeah, so he got frustrated because of the update, which I didn't think was that bad, in all honesty. To each their own. And I also believe that like certain times, certain updates, even though you write a program that's universal, everybody has different computers. They have different hard drives and different RAM, different file formats, different files themselves. The setup is different. So like, I understand that like things get a little quirky sometimes. Sometimes you go to do something and it's just like, why isn't it working? Like, I was still using the Serato 4.2 or whatever demo. And, I had songs that just had no beats, no BPM information. The beat grids were gone. There's nothing wrong with them. It was in the metadata, but Serato was just glitching, So, I guarantee you today, since I now finally have the release, app candidate, it'll be fine. But sometimes it's just quirky and we just move on. I know a lot of things affect Nick. He's very emotional sometimes. But it's not untrue, although I think that it was potentially, I'm not dismissing or diminishing any of his problems, but it did feel a little blown out of proportion, just because I was using it and I didn't experience the things he was experiencing. But like I said, every computer, every situation is different. So, I don't know. Okay, DJ Smooth in the building. Exactly. Okay. Are farmers even selling stuff, Coyote, in all honesty? Because all I hear is the fact that like, I mean, look, we know, right, that like there's tons of farmers that essentially don't even sell crops. Like they get subsidized to not produce crops. Like I don't understand the logic of it all, but like I'm still, it's crazy to me that we have all this farmland, and we do have a lot of farmland. And yet in Mexico is different, because Mexico is literally, it's really, I mean, there's a reason that it's, North America. But I mean, Mexico is legitimately our neighbor. Okay. They might as well be, I mean, they were at one point, they owned a lot of this land. So I get it, things coming from Mexico. I even get things coming from Canada. But like when we're having stuff shipped from like, these, Asia and all of these other, it's like, why can't we do that here? Oh, because it's cheaper there. So the government's going to give the farmers in America a subsidy so they don't produce because it's cheaper to get it from, like, it's insane. It's insane. Meanwhile, all these farmers that thought that they were going to see benefits from the new administration are screaming to holy hell that they can't compete. Anyway. Oh Lord. Okay. That's true. That's true. That's why we have such high fructose. That's why corn syrup is so important to us. Okay. When are you going to get an Exciton 1803 to review? When you send me one. When you send me one. You guys act like I'm just buying stuff for your amusement. Hold on, let me see here. Actually, let me find out. Let me find out from my guy that actually bought one. Because I said to him, as soon as you get it, hey man, comma, did you get your Exciton speaker system? Period. If you did, I want to be able to test it out when you get a chance. The sooner the better, because these people on my channel won't stop asking me. I said the same thing. What did I say about Maestro? What did I say? I say a lot of things. I can't remember. But to be fair, okay, so look, full disclosure about Maestro, and I may have mentioned this or not. When Maestro was sent to me, I took a serious look at it. I even took it on a party with me. It's actually in my car. I took it on the party. First, I was here, tested it. I had all the Wi-Fi, did all the stuff. Everything was great. Took it on a party. Literally got to the party. Signal was like, I don't know you anymore. I couldn't use it. Had to do like manual, and then like it was a lot. Okay, so then I told the guys, I'm like, look, I think there's potential here, but I can't use this in a production environment. And he's like, and I'm like, I know people love it. That's great. It's great for them. I think it's the people that don't want to think about anything. It's literally just plug and play. And that's great. I said, but I'm using it for more than just plug and play. I needed to be able to do certain things. So it couldn't do that. And then look, life gets in the way, you put it to the side, waiting for the update. Then the update came, but I was just trapped with a whole bunch of other stuff. So it just wasn't possible for me to do it. So now it's like farther back on the totem pole, but it is one that I still want to look at. In my opinion, it's actually better for you, because the longer I wait, the better the damn thing gets. You know what I mean? Like, had I released my DJ review, 8 months ago, a lot of the things that I had problems with are gone now. They're gone. So sometimes time heals all wounds. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Sometimes I love just reading the comments, and like I'll spot a Mixmaster G comment. It's funny to me because Mixmaster G, first off, super smart guy. Okay, just put it out there. He's brilliant. But it's funny to me how there's, we couldn't be on, more opposite sides of the world, but like, I think having human decency and having like a love for humanity transcends region. It transcends education. It transcends. It's just human beings taking care of human beings. And it's just amazing to me because, like, you go some places or you talk to somebody and, maybe they're from a different country, different religion, different all this stuff. And they're like, oh, I I was raised like this, so I can't see your side. Like, I can't imagine people that look at capitalism and say, oh, that's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like we're like capitalism gung ho, but like there are other countries that are like capitalism is ruining your world, you know? And to a certain degree, it absolutely is. I can't complain too much because capitalism is how I stay in business. Okay. So I'm not like, don't do capitalism. I'm not that guy. That's just dumb. But it is ruining everything too. And it's not capitalism that's ruining the world. It's greed. It's greed. And I'm not sure you can have capitalism without having greed. Like, I'm not sure that's even a possibility. I would love it to be, but I don't think that's possible. I think the stock market, I think the stock market is a problem. I mean, it's gambling. It's a casino. I don't know why we're acting like it's not, but it's absolutely a casino. And I think the moment that you need to consistently show profit or you lose money, that was the start of the greed. Because if you weren't beholden to shareholders, and you broke even, because I'm talking about, this isn't even about like making a profit, right? Like shareholders, you can't even break even. If you break even, you had a bad year. Now, it used to be breaking even was a good thing. Hey, I earn a good living for myself. I pay all my employees a livable wage. I'm able to have the upkeep on our building and make investments back into the company. But no, we didn't make a profit. We zeroed out. That should be a good thing. Like, legitimately should be a good thing. We broke even. But if you break even, you're not doing well. So now, before you break even, you fire 10,000 employees and you use their salary and their insurance compensation and all their perks as your profit. Although it's not profit. Like, it's a dumb game we're playing, and we're fucking with people's lives. And that's the problem. That is the problem. Anyway, see, like I said, you can get me on a tangent all you want. All you want. I'm trying to stay calm and peaceful. You know? Peaceful. I'm really glad, in all honesty. I never lost faith that my company couldn't be successful. I never. How would you grow if you break even? You serious? Is that a serious question? Growth is not determined by breaking even. Breaking even is just saying that there's no profit. Okay, there's no profit, but investment is always a part of breaking even. Like I can say, hey, you know what? I just realized that we had a really good year, and there is $500,000 of profit in the accounts. Profit. We can use that. Okay. And then I can go, hey, great. Well, I'm going to take 250,000 and give my partner 250,000. We're technically breaking even. Okay. Or I can say, hey, you know what? I have $500,000. I'm going to buy this new building, or I'm going to buy I'm going to buy, 8 more LED walls. Okay. And I take that $500,000 and I buy LED walls. On my books, I'm breaking even. But I had a profit. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why it's all just clever numbers and clever accounting. That's all it is. It's all it is. So that's why I'm saying you can be profitable like for years. 4 years, our CPA for like it was always like because first look, when you first get started with a business, okay, you're operating in the red. Okay, it's just facts. You know, you're never going to make enough in the beginning as to what you're putting out. All right, so you're taking losses like every year, and the government expects you to take losses. All right, so you don't get penalized for taking losses, but every year that you take losses, you get a little bit of a ding on your business account. Okay. And that ding is like, hey, so you keep taking losses. How are you even in business? Well, that means that you must be like skimming off the top because you couldn't be in a business every year for 10, 15 years and keep taking losses. Like that doesn't work mathematically. So you start getting flagged for all that stuff, right? So your CPA will tell you, you at a certain point, you got to start making a profit. You know, because we're like, well, we pay our salaries, we pay the employees, we have this, whatever, but we have to buy equipment, and this equipment costs money. So every time we try to grow, especially in the beginning, you're buying stuff. You're potentially operating in the red, but the country, the government does not want you operating in the red. They do not want you taking losses. So at a certain point, you have to break even or make profit, or you're going to get audited. You know, it's dumb. It's a dumb logic, but that's the way it works. So now that for the longest time, she was like, you got to make it. You got to do it. I don't understand. You know, I'm looking at your books. The numbers should be this. Why isn't it this? You know, and we're like, well, because of this and because of this. She's like, okay. So now we're actually, over the past few years, we've been making profits. And, but our profits, she's like, well, what do you want to do with this? Do you want to do this and do that? And I'm like, well, we're still buying stuff. She's like, what do you mean? I said, she's like, we still need to buy another, 30 by 30 LED floor. We need to buy another wall. We need to buy more uplights because not only we need more uplights, but the ones we bought in the beginning 18 years ago, the Chauvets, Freedom Bar Hexes, or 14 years ago or whatnot, the batteries are dying now. And it was before they had the swappable batteries. Like anything you see Chauvet do, like over time, is usually a reaction to something that went wrong, right? So the removable batteries was because the internal batteries kept dying. And people were complaining. So they came up with the removable batteries, just a swappable. So you can just hot swap them. I don't think you can hot swap them, but you can swap them. Anyway. So yeah, so it costs money to do these things, and so she understood, but like, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But capitalism is killing us. Welcome to Taxes 101. I don't know if it was a good description. I don't claim to be a CPA. I just know that we owe money all the time. All right. On another note, says Funky Fresh, I just got my first pair of PA speakers, got the Yamaha DXR 10s. They just got delivered right now. Congratulations. That's I like Yamaha. It's not like I don't use them. I don't own any, but for whatever reason, a lot of dance conventions, they use Yamaha speakers, and they've always sounded good to me. Always. Okay. Let's see here. All right, 12:15. Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And absolutely, Mixmaster G, growth should never be a mission. I mean, look, if you start a business because first off, you're tired of like dealing with the bullshit of like, these businesses that don't care about you, then it's always ultimately about being able to provide for your family. So if you're being able to provide for your family, technically you're doing well. You're doing well enough, because that's really the issue. Can I pay my mortgage? Can I pay my car payments and my insurance and all that? Then you're winning. Nobody says you need to be, a millionaire every time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying no to a millionaire. Like if I have the opportunity, I will absolutely do it, but I'm not there now. How are those Maui 28 G3s treating you? You see what I'm saying, guys? You see what I'm saying? Now, there's nothing wrong with Music by Rami. There's nothing wrong. But when people are like, why didn't you talk about this earlier? We did talk about this earlier, Rami. And I had already said that the 28 G3s are still my favorite column array 12-inch speaker. They are. They really are. Over everything. I mean, to each their own, but I prefer them over the KC12s. And there's nothing wrong with the KC12s, but I still prefer them. Every time I do an A/B test, there's only been like the Evolve 70s. The Evolve 70s were the first ones that actually I said, okay, these sound noticeably better. But that's also a 15-inch sub, so it makes sense. But even in my review, I'm like, this is a 15-inch sub, and this 12-inch sub is still holding its own. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it just operates so high above its weight class. It doesn't make sense. Every time I put it up against another speaker, I'm just amazed at how good they sound. Now, I would not say that same thing about the 44s. I think the 44s are just okay. I think the 28s are so much better than the 44s. And I'm going to be really excited if they can make a 44 have the same sonic qualities that the G3 does. I really do. I really do. Okay. All right. I don't know. I kind of feel accomplished today. I don't really feel like I need to go until 1 o'clock today. Don't you guys feel good? Don't you guys feel good about yourselves today? Now I will answer some more questions, but if I can get out of here by 12:30, take my dog for a walk before I start all of my before I start all of my Ableton on Instagram. Sorry, DJ Kova is sending me stuff right now. I'll check it out later. If you have any more questions, put the ask in. Let's answer some final questions before my first call. I always hate that my first call is a Zoom. I cannot stand. I wish Calendly would let me tell it when I want to do Zooms and when I don't. Like, I want to do a window just for Zooms. Like after 4 o'clock, usually, yeah, like that 3:30 call. That's that could be my last Zoom or my last Zoom. Because anything after that, if I'm driving, I don't want to take a Zoom in the car. I can't stand it. But like, I'm looking at next Wednesday, every meeting, and I mean every meeting, are Zooms. Okay. Let's see. Expected date. All right. So my guy is getting his Exiton on the 13th. What was that, next week? So if he can get it next week, well, no, I'm sorry. It's yeah, because it's the 5th today. So if he gets it on the 13th, unfortunately, I'm in the Bay Area doing 3 events from the 13th through the 15th. So I won't be able to even probably take a listen to them until the 16th, 17th, or 18th. So it's going to be a couple of weeks. But I will do a live A/B demo of them. Honestly, like I won't even mess around. I'll pull out. Are they 18s? What are those X's? Are they 12s? I think they're 12s, right? Let me pull up. I feel like they're 12s. Exoton. Tweak Music Tips in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Exoton speaker. All right, 1503. I think that's the one we're talking about here. Okay. 2,000 watts. I do not believe that whatsoever. Yeah, 1,000 watts RMS, 2,000 watts peak. And oh, that speaker bag looks terrible. Pre-order. Where's the other one? Oh, they're doing so well. Did they have another one coming out? I don't see any prices. Add to cart. $579 for 2 of them. Oh my God. $579 for 2. That's wild. That is so wild. Okay, well, we'll have to see. We'll see. When they come. I don't have high hopes. I'm just going to be honest with you. I do not have high hopes. All right, the 1503s are 15 and the 1803s are 18. I just got a white set of 1503s. It's like to tell people. Oh, I don't, we'll see. Top 3 speakers and subs. Oh, Funky Fresh. That's a long conversation. And by the way, there's not really, oh God. I think you have to also consider when you're thinking about speakers, is opportunity, availability. Because a lot of these speakers out there are people that will buy speakers and will swear by them because that's all they've ever heard, because that is all that is available to them. You get what I'm saying? So there's a difference there. Like for the longest time, Matt Skills in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you, man. Why is everybody on the YouTubes today? I feel like there's been a number of people that have stopped by and said hello today. That's wild. For the longest time, being in Southern California, like the JBL was the speaker, JBL, Cerwin Vega, like those were the speakers that everybody was buying. But on the other coast, there are speakers that are definitely more popular. So for me, it was always just like what was closest, what I could get repaired, what sounded the best. And I've always thought, now that I've heard pretty much all of them, mind you, a few here and there that I have not heard, but like, I still to this day believe that, and I know that a lot of people don't even use 15-inch highs, 15-inch tops, but some of the best 15-inch tops are the SRXs from JBL, the SRX 15s. They're some of the best sounding tops I've ever had. Now, they are full wood cabinets. They are heavy. They require very specific poles, or they will take out like a Amazon pole with the quickness. Like it would be like this. I swear to God, leaning on its side. So those are good. To this day, so the JBL 900 series, they finally, I believe, came out with a true point source top because they were trying to go line array, and I just couldn't stand that look. I can't stand that look. It's not for everybody. And like for a lot of my parties, something like that, like a line array, would literally turn party planners off. It's just too much speaker, which is why column arrays are so popular right now. But like, even with QSC, I think QSC makes amazing bottoms. I don't really love their tops. I don't think their tops are very good. Just in general, they're good enough, but like there's so many better tops out there than the QSCs, but their subs are really good, and they operate again above their weight class. Like the amount of power coming out of a typical 18 QSC is really, really impressive. Like really impressive. Now there's a little bit of speaker bleed. I did in one of my reviews, I talked about speaker bleed, and some people don't know what speaker bleed is. You know, there's a difference between like tight bass and like loose bass. Don't anybody with your dirty ass mind say anything. Okay? Because that's a technical term, tight and loose, okay? In the dictionary. But a tight bass is really clean, it's really refined, but it really stays in like a very fixed position. Okay? Like there's like you're in front of it and you hear it and you see it and it's there. All right? A loose bass means doesn't mean that the cabinet's loose. It just means that there's like some bleed, some bass bleed, but that bass bleed does a lot to add warmth to the sound of a speaker. It's the same thing that is like CD versus vinyl. Okay? CD versus vinyl. Where when people are like, well, I like to use analog. Why does analog sound better? Because there is compression bleed. That compression, that saturation forces everything outward. Hence, it sounds warm. But then you got CDs, which operate within, very rigid spaces. It's going to sound good, but it's going to lose that warmth. There's just a difference. So I prefer a speaker with a little bit of speaker bleed in the sub, not in high, in the sub. It just adds a little warmth to the room. But to each their own. Like sometimes I'll listen to a speaker and people are like, listen to that sound. And I'm like, I don't think it sounds good at all. There's nothing wrong with the 70s whatsoever. Nothing wrong with the 70s. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm nervous for my first gig using EV70s on March 14th. I hope I can get the crowd on the floor just to get together for family. It's about 100. Those 70s are overpowered for 100. You'll be fine. I've run the 70s up to, okay, so just so we're clear, technically I have, a shit ton of speakers, but the ones that I use, LD Maui 28G3s, the EV70s, the EV90s. Occasionally I might use the QSCs. Now I used to use them all the time, and or the SRX systems, which I have SRX 818s. I don't use the 828 too often because it's just too big. So I have the JBL 818s and then the SRX 818s and the SRX 815 tops. Okay, now I've qualified all of that. Okay, we also have the RCF NXL. What is that? The 44 tops to go with the my partner's JBL SRX 900 subs, which are monsters, by the way. Okay, so but I'm lazy. Not lazy, I just don't care. So I want convenience over perfect sound quality. So for anything up to about 100 people, I always bring my 28G3s. For anything above 100 to say 140, maybe 150, I'll give you 150. I will bring the EV70s. Anything above 150 or anything between 130 and 200, I will bring the 90s. Okay. I just did a party recently. There was 225 people. And the 90s were still hitting like crazy. So, that's my typical range. If I'm not sure of a crowd, like it says it's like 120, but it could be up to like 145. I'm bringing the EV70s. If that helps. Okay. Did you say the Evolve 90s sound better than the K18 12.2? I said go watch the video because there's a video specifically on the 90s versus the KS18s, the K118s and the 12.2s. But I never said that. Never said that. And I never will say that. You're still there's you can never ever get a one-to-one sound profile or sound comparison with a column array speaker that only has 1 amp, okay, powering both the top and the bottom sub versus a point source which has amps for this, a dedicated amp for the top and a dedicated amp for the sub. It's not possible, in my opinion. Not possible. And it's so funny. I wanted to at one point review the Bass Boss column array. And then I saw somebody set it up like in one of their YouTube videos. And I said, there's absolutely no way I want that thing. And no doubt that they don't sound good. No doubt. I know they're going to sound good. Doesn't change the fact them things are huge and no thanks. And then when I saw them at NAMM and they were taller than me, and I mean like I felt like that speaker was working out, like it was going to hit me. Like they're big. They are really, really big. So to each their own, but they're not for us. Those speakers are not for us. Those speakers are for rental companies that rent out speakers, production companies, that do like, temporary installs. Like that's what they're for. They're not for the mobile DJ. Even if they try to sell it that way, they're absolutely not for the mobile DJ. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't think it's possible. All right. Okay. So 12:34. All right, guys, guess what? I am going to get out of here because I do have a 1:00 Zoom and I want to eat some food. I don't have time to take my dog on a walk. Our walks are approximately 30 to 35 minutes. Zouk LA. Finalizing logistics. It's always funny to me when people finalize logistics when you're at a nightclub. What would you like to finalize? I come in, I drop a thumb drive or a computer onto the DJ area. We're not handling anything else. Just send me the schedule. Sometimes I just want to say that. And to do a Zoom for this, it's just over. Anyway. All right, y'all. I do have to take off. Been a great time. Where am I this weekend? We have some parties in Arizona. I don't do Arizona anymore. Like I said, I have a 5-hour drive time window. So I will drive up to the Bay Area. And that's about as far as I go in Vegas. 5 hours is my window. So 5 hours I can get to San Jose, and that's where we stay. And then we kind of go from there to all the things. So, but I'm not sure what I'm doing. But either way, hope you guys have great parties this weekend. Next weekend, yeah, we are in the Bay for a Friday party. Then we have 2 bar mitzvahs on Saturday night, and one's an LED wall. So and a full light install. So I'm still figuring out when I'm going to fly out, if I'm flying up on Friday or Saturday morning. Then I got some corporate stuff to handle. Anyway, everybody have great parties out there. I know it's a beautiful week. Not too hot, not too cold. I'll see you guys next week. Next Thursday, which will be... What is Thursday? Just to tell you just to make sure I'm going to be here. The 12th. Okay. We'll be good. I will be here because I got some stuff going on the 11th. 12th is good. So I will see you guys next Thursday. My System 1 review. Hopefully will go out. If not tomorrow, then I'll hold it until Monday. I don't like releasing things on the weekend. It feels weird to me. Like I'm releasing it to a whole bunch of DJs that are all working. So why would I do that? Anyway, so it either goes out tomorrow or it goes out on Monday. All right, y'all. We'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. Have great parties. Peace out. And I can't even get to my normal intro because My Steam Deck is gone. Let's try. I don't even know where it is. All right. Found it. Peace out, y'all.